Good morning, everyone. I am here for your Divine Masculine reading today. I hope you guys are having a good week. It is Tuesday, and thanks for joining in today on the Conduits channel. If you have not already, please like and subscribe. And if you're new to the channel, we welcome you and hope you enjoy this reading. And if you do, please also like and subscribe so that you guys can get more readings in the future. You have met your counterpart, your other half, the yin to your yang, the other person that you have felt was there your whole life, but couldn't quite find or connect. On some level, you have always known that there was an other, right? And you were looking for them in the eyes of everyone you met, even if you didn't realize that you were looking for them in the eyes of everyone that you had met up until now. But the truth is you have. And you're starting to have crazy experiences, or you've already had crazy experiences, depending on where you're at in your journey with this person. And you know that there is something far beyond a regular romantic relationship happening here. And you are not incorrect on that assumption. There is something far more than just your typical romantic relationship with this person. This is a spiritual connection that is often misinterpreted, especially in the beginning when we don't know what's going on for a romantic relationship. Well, if it's not a romantic relationship, then what is it? And if it's not a romantic relationship, is romance even supposed to be a part of the process? Well, the answer to that is yes. It is supposed to be a part of the process, but it is not the only or the most important part of this process. Have you ever looked at, well, before we go into that, what is this relationship, right? If it's not just about romance, what is it? This is a key, a wake-up call, a shaking from the universe, a let's send in the forces and get this person to wake up, to remember who they are and why they are here relationship. That's what this is, okay? It's a gift from the soul. It is the soul, right? You are the soul. All one and the same thing. But when we come down here, we're under the veil and we don't remember. And we get really wrapped up in the ways of the world. And that is why we have met our divine counterpart, is to wake us up and to remind us. So, have you ever mistaken or mistaken something for something else? Like you thought something was this, but then later on you realized that it was this. Well, it's kind of like that with your twin flame. We label it to be something in the beginning because we think it ticks off the boxes and we don't know what else. I mean, why would we label it with something that we didn't even know existed? We didn't even know this was our twin flame. So why would we be like, oh, I've met my twin flame. Like, this is them. I mean, possibly for some of you, maybe you knew about twin flames ahead of time, but I'd venture to say that probably 99% of you did not even know what twin flames were before you even met yours. So when you met them, You're not going to label them as a twin flame, right? It's automatically going to, in your mind, fall into the category of a regular romantic relationship. But you learn very quickly, within a matter of just a few short weeks, that this is something greater or something more or something different. It's a whole category of its own. And that just sends us into a tailspin, among many other things, right? At the bottom of the deck today, we have Ace of Spears in reverse. So the overall energy for this reading today is that your divine masculine feels like somehow they've been let down. They feel kind of depressed and a little unsupported. Now, this isn't something where they're necessarily feeling that from you, but there could be some element of that. They may feel a little bit like they've been let down, or maybe they even feel like they've let you down, divine feminine. Maybe they feel like they've let you down. Maybe they feel like they've let their karmic down. Maybe they feel that the karmic has let them down. It could be directed at different people depending on their 3D situation. Okay? You kind of have to look at that and assess that as to whether or not it's one person or many people. But they do kind of somehow feel a little let down by the people in their life situation. And they're kind of looking at it like it's somebody else's fault, right? It's either the karmic's fault, maybe they think it's your fault, maybe they think it's a combination, maybe it's their parents' fault, maybe it's their teacher's fault or their boss's fault. However, they're not really looking at it as their fault. They're not really accepting responsibility for whatever it is. And the truth is whatever they've attracted in somehow resonates with them, and it's a lesson that they need to learn. So it's not to place the blame outside of themselves is only going to create more of the same issue, more of the same circumstances, until the internal lesson is learned for them to grow and expand and move on to something else. So that's kind of the overall for the reading today. Your numerology number today is 4 and 3. Or you could say 34 or 43 or 7. It's completely up to you. Any of those numbers that resonate with you this week, then those numbers are for you. And maybe you can kind of keep an eye out for them too, see if they mean anything. But in recent past, your divine masculine has had the devil in reverse showing up in their energy, which means that recent past, there's been certain types of abuse that have been taking place in their life. It's had a pretty deep impact on their perceptions and their belief systems, how they see the world showing up for them, how they react and respond to it. And this could be from family of origin. It could be relationships that they've had. Either way, they have definitely experienced someone or some people not really treating them with the respect that they deserve. Now, there's two kinds of experiences that we have. There are experiences that happen to us because we attract them in, because we resonate with them on a certain level, and we need to learn some kind of a lesson from that so that we can grow and expand beyond that and become the highest version of ourselves. But then there are some experiences that come to us that we don't necessarily resonate with. Like, this can become a hard thing for people in the spiritual community, because they're like, well, if I'm attracting everything to me, then why did I attract abuse? Like, why is that? Well, it could be something within you that needs to change and grow in order to not attract that type of people in, right? It doesn't mean that you deserve the abuse. It means that there's something that you need to look at that you got to like kind of check yourself and say what is it that I'm attracting this in for. But there's something else too that can attract it in. And this is where people can get a little confused and they can start blaming themselves, or they can almost victim shame others because, well, if you attracted that in, then you deserved it somehow. Somehow you resonated with that. Well, not necessarily in the same way. One of the things I learned early on in my awakening, and forgive me for taking a second to kind of explain this, but it was so important to me. And I think for every human being to understand this, because we have all experienced on some level abuse and trauma, right? And if that's the case, we can't be blaming ourselves for that, especially like children, right? Anybody who's been abused as a child, or anyone who's experienced any kind of like sexual abuse or anything like that, they did not attract that in because they deserved it somehow and then, needed to learn a lesson and expand and grow. That's not why. Sometimes things that happen to us in early life, because life is a mix of destiny creation and also things happening to us to kind of steer the ship in order for us to complete the mission that we came here in this world to complete. Because how we think of time and space and things like that in a linear way, from the level of the mind, from the human perspective, is not the same on the spiritual plane, okay? Past and present and future, they're all one. There is no past and future in that spiritual plane, right? All things kind of exist already, okay? It's us that are experiencing it at the human level of our consciousness that sees it in a linear fashion. But, and I know that's complicated, I get it. It will make more sense to you if you're new to all this stuff over time as you continue to learn and as more is revealed to you through your spiritual awakening from the universe. But certain things happen to you at certain times in your life in order to get you prepared or to give you the experience in order for you to be able to transmute that and to do something with it at a later time. So someone, I don't remember her name. I wish I could remember her name, but there was a woman I once read about who had been raped and had experienced some horrible trauma. And instead of letting that ruin her, which obviously it would have for a period of time, right? It's not like she came out of it the next day and had no trauma. That's what's so amazing about her story, is she had all of this trauma, all this awful stuff that happened to her that anyone would say, have empathy and say, yeah, I can understand why her life went off the deep end, But she didn't let that happen. She went through all this trauma and all this hardship and all this pain. And what she did with it instead was she turned around and she became an advocate and someone who speaks out and helps others who've gone through that kind of stuff. She had gone through something so difficult and painful. And instead of letting it destroy her and make that an excuse for the rest of her life to identify with that and to destroy her life, instead she transmuted that and she said, I am not going to be a victim. And instead she became the hero of her own story, and then as a result a hero of many others as well who had gone through the same thing and needed someone to show them. And maybe she had someone prior to her that inspired her to be able to move forward. But that's why I say sometimes negative things happen to us. And it's not because we deserve it, because we somehow resonate on that level and have to learn a lesson. Sometimes that lesson is given to us to actually, through time and space, empower us to become something that we came here to do, to inspire others. But we can't inspire others from a place of ignorance. We can't. And unfortunately, that means sometimes we go through something horrible and difficult because The source, God, knows that we are the warriors that we are, and we came here to do that in order to inspire those who need us. Which one is that for your divine masculine? They're going to have to ultimately decide, because something's going on. They feel harmed and hurt by something, which is causing them to act out in certain ways. But that doesn't mean that your divine masculine has done some terrible things and deserves bad stuff. It means that certain things have happened to them. They've experienced some kind of trauma and abuse on some level. And it's because there is growth there for them to become the best version of themselves and to do something with that. And when they wake up to that, that's when everything changes. That's when you are no longer disempowered by your trauma, but instead you are empowered by it. That's transmutation. That's alchemy. And divine feminine, that is what you are learning right now in all of this, okay? That is what you are learning. And your divine masculine is learning it too, because guess what? They're on this journey just like you are, even if their 3D experience and the way that it happens for them looks entirely different. All right, so in their karmic situation, there is some financial trouble on the home front for your divine masculine. Something financially is going on with them that is creating a bunch of stress. You know, we have a tendency as human beings to compartmentalize, but everything kind of corresponds. So you have a messy house, it's because something's cluttered on the inside of you. You got messy finances, it's because something's cluttered inside of you. And so some of these things that are surfacing in your divine masculine's karmic 3D world and environment are due to the fact that they've got a lot of internal chaos that they're dealing with. And that makes it difficult sometimes for them to balance their lives out. And, you know, we kind of get a little bit behind the curve, you know, in certain areas. And it takes a lot of strength, like a salmon swimming upstream in the current, to kind of get ahead of where you need to be. And so your divine masculine is struggling on some financial area in their life. They could be facing divorce and having a financial crisis due to the divorce. They could be, they could have lost a job that's creating a lot of stress, maybe just with the economy and everything being so expensive and the rising costs of everything. It's putting a lot of stress on your divine masculine, but something financially in their home life, business life, you know, family life, it's a heavy weight for them to be carrying around, and it's having an effect in other areas of their life. It's clouding their mind and their judgment and making it difficult for them to be able to kind of see a pathway out of that. Toward you, divine feminine. All right, in recent past, this financial stuff that's going on with your divine masculine has had an impact on the way that they are treating you and responding to you. Part of them sees you through this lens of the Chariot. Like, this is kind of how they view you right here, okay? And that means that they kind of see you as like hope in the darkness. They see you as a force of change, a reason maybe to take action towards something else, maybe even a reason to improve themselves. You are creating, just by the encounter with you in their life, a series of changes. It's like a domino effect, meeting you, and then all of a sudden these new connections, these new pathways, these new ways of thinking and processing things are kind of coming into your divine masculine's awareness. However, with Eight of Coins in reverse, there's some time that it's going to take to rearrange who they are, how they think, and what their goals are, okay? And because of that, there's a fear about you that I'm not even sure that they're completely cognitively aware of the ins and outs of this, but they feel it. They feel it. And so it causes them to act strangely around you. They want to be around you because there's something healthy about being around you. But you're also in a way kind of like what stimulates and triggers this reminder of things that need to be taken care of. And you also have a tendency to, just by being around them, their experience of you, to kind of show them areas of lack mentality, areas that they feel that they need to improve upon. And so that creates a little bit of a push-pull. They want you there, then they don't want you there. They want you there, then they don't want you there. And they come up with excuses. And from your perspective, you're like, what the heck, man? Like, why are they treating me like this? Because they're not communicating it, because they can't even really understand it themselves. So how can they communicate it to you? To them, it just seems like in the moment, they're like moody almost. It's like in the moment, yes, I want you here. And then all of a sudden they're like triggered, and then they're like, no, go away, you know? But they're not telling you that they're triggered, because I don't even know if they know why. To them, it's just like this reaction that they're having. Now, if you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe. It really helps us a lot in our algorithm, and it helps us to reach other people. We're still trying to grow this channel, and so that's huge support to us when you can do that. And also when you guys can comment, you know, if you guys like these readings, if they taught you something, or you have something that you want to share with the community, please let us know in the comments. I love reading your comments. Also, we still have our special going for this month, which is 40% off of tarot readings, as well as 25% off of one-on-one personal coaching calls. So if you are struggling and in need of some help, some advice, and some support, you know, it's a great time to purchase either one of those. We do have our group call memberships, which start as low as $20 per month, you know, depending on where you're at, and you can get anywhere from 8 to 16 calls per month with that. So those range from $20 all the way up to $40 per month. So all that information is in the description box below. You can get the coupon codes down there. So go check that out. We would love the opportunity to work with you. All right, so this is present now. So we're going to look at what's presently going on. This is kind of what's happened in the past with you and Divine Masculine. This is now what's happening presently and currently with you guys. So their current energy is 3 of Swords in reverse. So they are really feeling like they're in a recovery mode right now. This is recovery, okay? This is, I've really taken some time to do some self-inquiry, to assess my life, make certain changes, and now I'm starting to build momentum in the other direction. And even if it feels like I'm moving a little bit through quicksand, I'm making progress. So they're feeling a little better because they are seeing that change is possible. But they are still fully aware of and kind of immersed in some of the feelings of loss and betrayal and trauma. They're not out of the water with that yet. They haven't completely reframed and moved on in another direction yet. They're just in the process of making, you know, slow progress. You know, they had so much momentum going this way. It's like a ball rolling downhill or a car coming to a stop, right? You can't just go from movement to stop without like impact and harm, right? So things slowly change. When we hit the brakes, we slowly come to a stop. And then we can start going in another direction if we want. And it starts out slow, and then we gain speed and traction over time. That's kind of where they're at. They're still in the maybe like stopping mode. They haven't quite stopped all of these patterns yet, but they've come into awareness of them. And so the momentum of those patterns are slowing down, right? Then they'll cross a threshold and they'll start creating momentum in this other direction, or momentum again in another way with creating new patterns and programming. So they're still very much in kind of a hurtful place, right? Because this would be like a very hurtful place, but they're bringing that to a halt, okay? And that's why like a lot of this is showing up in the past, and it's in the past now. Now in the present, they're starting to take care of it. They're starting to create something new. This is losing momentum in their reality. Okay. All right. So with the karmic, all right, the karmic situation in their life. I don't know if they have a karmic partner or not, if they're single, if they've gone through a divorce or in the process of a divorce, but their karmic situation is improving. What this could mean is, it could mean that if they are in a relationship, there seems to be some improvement in the interactions that they're having with this other person. It's not as tumultuous as it was. Maybe if they're going through a divorce or a breakup, they've kind of gone past the initial kind of like, I hate you, get out of my life phase. And now it's kind of like, okay, self-reflection. I appreciate this relationship for what it brought me, even though it's time to move on. And they're feeling a peace about moving on, okay? If they're not in a relationship, it could be that they are opening themselves up to feeling like maybe I'm at a place where I could actually do this. Maybe I can make a commitment or look for some stability and a family life, okay? So or if it's job related, okay? And again, there's no, like, it's this or this or this or this. It could be a blending of these things as well, okay? I'm just kind of giving you some possible scenarios as to how it could look, and then you have to use your discernment, Divine Feminine, to kind of look at that situation from the limited perspective that you have. Because again, you have a limited perspective on Divine Masculine's reality, just like they have a limited perspective on yours. Right? We can't know everything that's going on with our Divine Masculine, especially because they keep a lot of crap secret from us, right? So you kind of have to use your discernment and recognize that you're looking at this through your own filters, okay? But if it's job related, it could be something where they're starting to feel like they know exactly what they want to do and kind of feeling a little bit more confident in being able to execute that, whether they're working for someone else, starting their own business, they have their own business that they've been doing for a long time. Either way, they're starting to feel a lot better about what it is that they're doing. So it could be affecting them on many levels. Now, this, in any scenario, even if they're with someone else and it's starting to seem like it's taking a more positive, like, turn in their relationship, this is only happening because your Divine Masculine has been doing their inner work. It doesn't mean that this relationship is their forever relationship. It doesn't mean that, this is the person that they're meant to stay with forever, right? We don't really know those kinds of things with our Divine Masculine. These are big questions that Divine Feminines have. And it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to wait around? Am I supposed to, what is it that I'm supposed to do? We'll kind of get to that in just a second, but I don't want you guys to worry or fret when you hear things like that, because I understand what it's like to be in these phases. I've been there in all of them, and I'm still going through new ones. So I don't want you to worry and fret. These are actually positive signs that your Divine Masculine is aligning internally. We can't have external union until we have internal union. They have to work on themselves through the pathway that your soul has designed for them. And you have to come into union through the pathway that your soul has designed for you. And that's all you need to be concerned with and focused on, because your soul's taking care of all this over here. Okay, it's our mind that comes in and goes, oh no, what if it's not working out? That's the mind not aligning with the soul and trusting the soul. That's the mind coming in with fear and self-doubt, okay? Push that to the side. Notice it, but push it to the side. And remember, this journey is showing you and revealing to you that all is taken care of. You have nothing to worry about. Everything's happening as it's meant to in this linear fashion. Even if we don't understand how we're getting from point A to point B with our twin flame, we are, okay? It's happening as it should and as it's meant to. You got to trust the journey, okay? All right, toward you. Your divine masculine feels like they are stuck between two options. Okay? You have 2 of coins and 2 of cups here. Okay? This is interesting. With these 2 cards in combination, both in the upright, you have 2 of coins, which is 2 choices, feeling like they're kind of multitasking and they're weighing out their options. 2 of cups is romantic love, partnerships, proposal, and marriage. Okay, so they are seeing you as like they're trying to look at their life and go, what do I do here? I've got this amazing person that I've met, that I connect with, that I obviously have some type of a deep, deep connection to that I can't completely explain. And then I have this other stuff over here in my life. They are going through a place of like weighing the scales. Like, what do they truly want? What do they really desire? What is the right thing for them to do? What's actually in alignment for them? And all of this stuff is coming up in their mind because of the connection that they have with you. And this is a good thing, Divine Feminine, because that means that the Divine Masculine is starting to spiritually mature and try to figure out what the heck it is that they actually want so that they can stop yo-yoing themselves and then by default yo-yoing everyone else around them as well. They're coming into alignment, and these questions that are coming up for them are purposefully coming up to get them to question their reality so that they can align with what's truly right and important, okay? So that they can dock in the right place. You know, they can steer that ship and dock in the right place without taking 1,000 years to get there by zigzagging here and there and there and there and there and there and there. They can straight shoot it to where they want to go, right? The bullseye, right? Shortest path. The universe is aligning them with that, okay? And that is happening to you as well. And that is the purpose of meeting each other. And it's working. So keep going, Divine Feminine. Keep going, because what you're doing matters, okay? But you have to focus on you, not your Divine Masculine. Because again, like we said over here, trust that your soul is doing what it needs to do, even if it doesn't make sense to your mind, okay? This is about transcending the mind. You have to transcend the mind to evolve. Tower in reverse. Future energy here, okay? This is a feeling from your Divine Masculine like disaster has been averted, okay? They can see that some of these changes that they have been making, like certain things are showing up for them at this point now, where they can see now that where they were, what the changes are that they have made, and now they're starting to see through experiences that the universe is giving them how they would have reacted if they were in this energy, and then how this new energy coming in has changed things and the benefits of that, which is just going to now create more momentum from that stopping point to getting them going in a new direction and creating momentum toward a life that is in alignment with who they truly are. So this is a really, really good turning point for your Divine Masculine. This is the shift that I was talking about. This is the momentum in the wrong direction. This is the slowing down and figuring things out. And then this is the pickup again of momentum in the right direction. And the proof in the 3D experiences that this new energy is causing the reflection to show up differently, the reflection of reality to show up differently, okay? This is the evidence that the work that they've been putting in and you have been putting in is working, okay? We all need that. Because right here, this is what we think is reality. This is when we start to question reality, but we're like, are we crazy? Are we really doing the right thing? Like, all this evidence is showing up this way. You know, we have to kind of move through a space of faith for a period of time, stepping out into the unknown And then we start seeing evidence of that and we're like, okay, I knew it, right? And then it goes from faith to a knowing, like you know how it works. Okay, this is how divine masculine is starting to see things at this point, and so are you. Okay, this is a joint, two paths, one destination, two ways, one result. Okay, two people, two bodies, one soul. 9 of Spears and Page of Spears. Okay, this is the energy in the karmic situation in their life going forward in the future here. So we have this like remembrance of nightmares, anxiety, grief, depression. There's this knowing that this has existed so prominently in their past. And then we have Page of Spears, okay, which is recognizing through new and creative ideas how they can avoid these things, because these things are still trying to surface at this point. Our egos, our past, old patterns, always try to resurface as possible options. But your divine masculine is walking away from that. And they're recognizing that there are new possibilities, new destinations, new ways of doing things, that they're not bound to their past anymore. Okay? They're walking away from that karmic situation and creating something new. And you can see the difference in these cards. Like here, they felt like they had to fight for something. And here, there's like this piece of like, I'm going home, right? Return to self, return to innocence. All right. That's freaking awesome. All right. I have to say just right off the bat, I really like this card because look, there's a raven and that's my clan. Any of you who are part of the Raven clan, you are my clan. Well, you're all my clan, right? That's the truth. We're all connected. But this is something special. And I know there's others out there who also have this bond to the Raven. And some of you guys know my story behind that and why that's so important to me. Our whole channel is kind of designed around the Raven itself because of what that means to me symbolically. But this is cool, you guys. Look, we have 8 of Spears and Queen of Swords. Okay, so with 8 of Spears, your divine masculine is feeling so much more self-sufficient, and so are you, right? There's a feeling of, I'm good. Like, life can happen around me. The storm can happen around me, but I'm the eye of the storm. All things are something that I can just deal with and handle. And it's like a self-trust, an I got this kind of attitude, okay? And then you have Queen of Swords with that, which is a self-sufficient person, total honesty. Like, this is self-actualization, you guys. I could almost cry looking at these cards for you. This is stepping into your power, self-actualization, self-realization is all back here, which is leading the two paths to the one destination, which is self-actualization, stepping into your power, knowing who you are, recognizing your divinity, seeing what your path is, your mission here in this world, and knowing it, and having the confidence and the ability and the mental capacity on every plane of existence, mental, physical, and spiritual, all corresponding in alignment with each other, so that you can bring your light into this world, which is your destiny. And it's your divine masculine's destiny. Okay? The world is not an easy labyrinth to navigate your way through. But you have an inner light that will guide you no matter how dark a certain pathway seems. It will always guide you back to the center point, and the truth of who you are. So in those moments of darkness, remember, you're never alone, ever. The forest trees, the earth that you stand on, knows exactly where you are, divine feminine. They know exactly where your divine masculine is. You're never alone. You are supported and surrounded by life, creation, and abundance that love you. You are never separated from that other than your belief that you are. And your divine masculine at this point in time is seeing that too. And you can never fully show up for anyone until you know how to fully show up for yourself, which is why we have to go on these paths alone. Because we can't love someone if we require them to be the source of our love. And we're getting it all wrong when we do that. We have to recognize that we are the source of our love, and they have to recognize that they are the source of their love. And then we can come together without trying to extract something from someone else in order to be who we are. We recognize we possess all that we needed and sought without ourselves within. And that's when two people can really be joined together in a way that the rest of the world stands in amazement at. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I thoroughly enjoyed doing it for you. I'm going to get you guys an oracle card from my Soul's Journey oracle deck here. And see if we can find something that we'll add a little bit more. So Source is going to help us pick this card, okay? I'll just go until I feel it. One more. All right, this is the one. Love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Look at this, you guys. The eye of the storm. The fractalization and the beauty of all the chaos. And that center point, which is the constant stability. The union of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Bullseye. Right there. Love. It cannot be taken from you and it cannot be given to you. It is yours. And you're never cut off from that source. Promise you. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. You are love. It is your inherent vibration. The obstacles and challenges of the physical dimension attempt to trick you into thinking that there are other ways to view life. But there is only one way that is natural to you, to your being. There is only one way that is natural to your being. Love. This card simply reminds you that your soul is made of God's pure divine vibrational force of love, and that you need to bring this awareness to bear on every aspect of your life and being. Love is a healing energy. All anxiety and drama cannot exist in the aura of love. Most souls have come back upon this earth to learn, accept, and utilize this harmonic force and to see its effect upon their lives. It is your time to remind others of the strength of their own power of God and assist them in knowing fully that love is the most powerful element in the universe. It builds, fortifies, and strengthens even the most lost person. When we live in the power of love, then and only then will we know truth. True love is the spiritual link between us and God. It will guide our footsteps through the conflicts of the material world and will cleanse our hearts of unwanted facets of the human personality. What a perfect card for this reading. This is the purpose. This couldn't have happened better than it did in this reading, you guys. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you do, but I don't know for sure, if that's not a manifestation of duality, what isn't, right? I don't know, but I do know. left and right brain there. Hopefully you guys could see how this is the purpose of the twin flames. What we seek outside of ourselves, we come to realize never was lost. Your divine masculine isn't the source of this for you. You already are it. And you're not the source of that for them. They already are it. And that's where the two of you vibrate consistently. So always ask yourself the question on your day-to-day life, in the second to second to second to moment to moment to moment that you're living. Am I coming from a place of fear? Am I acting from a place of fear? Or am I acting from a place of love? What would love do? I love you guys. So grateful for you guys being here. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you on Thursday for your next reading. And until then, I'm sending you love. Take care.